All right, Coach, after watching it on tape, any new thoughts than what you gave out Saturday night?
Yeah, just really, so much disappointment and heartbreak in the way the game went. And obviously, we're representing a lot of people in this matchup, and a lot of people worked extremely hard to get it to 8 years in a row. And so such a disappointment, to have the game right there in our hands to win, to take it to 9 in a row. And, we weren't able to finish it off. It's been very tough on our guys.
Mitch Mustaine was the big story going in. How do you assess his performance looking back on it now?
Yeah, Mitch did some things well. Obviously didn't play perfect in the game, and his first start in 5 years, and so and we weren't able to get our running game going around him. That's probably the most disappointing thing. You
admitted to having a conservative game plan after the fact, and it seemed like it worked. Were you happy with the way they executed in terms of you won the turnover margin, you didn't have the sacks? That's what you talked about, right?
Well, we didn't have the negative plays, no sacks until the last play of the game, no turnovers. But just because you're conservative doesn't mean you can't score points and get a lot of yards. Conservative is just in the style of risk down the field and not having negative plays. But that's still no excuse for rushing for 80 yards. We still need to perform a lot better.
Defensively, you weren't great in the second quarter, but then all of a sudden in the second half, particularly the third quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter, it looked like you guys were jumping everything. Maybe the most aggressive the defense has been all year. What were those adjustments? Where did that defense come from?
Well, our confidence was building. In the 60-minute game, we went 55 minutes without giving up a point. We give up 3 touchdowns in the last 2.5 minutes of each half, unfortunately, again this year. And so, it's tough. Obviously, something that we've continued to work on, and is going to have to be a huge emphasis this offseason. Again, is going to be finishing our halves in our 2-minute our 2-minute defense. We've taken the lead of 11 of 12 games. We've taken the lead in the second half, and so unfortunately, we're going through some growing pains.
Yeah, I know the team defensively has struggled in those 2-minute situations, but this one in particular, did it seem like it came out of nowhere? I mean, Notre Dame didn't seem to change much. It just looked like power run. It just was, I thought, the most surprising part.
Yeah, I think I think that was surprising to everybody. I think everybody felt after we took the lead with that field goal, they hadn't really done much at all on offense that we'd be able to hold them there and get the ball back and run it out. And unfortunately, they broke a couple runs there. We helped them by missing a couple of tackles, and but even after that, we still the offense has got to finish that game out and catch the ball to win the game.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the most memorable single moment is the Ronald Johnson drop. He just has one game left, and as much as anyone how hard he took it and how hard he plays and practices. What did you say to him after the game when you had a moment with him?
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever seen a player be more distraught after a game with such a significant play as he was, and how personally he took it. And unfortunately, that's part of the matchup, and going 8 straight, and then he feels the pressure after that of dropping that ball that he's responsible for 9 straight, which it should have never come to that. We should have performed much better that it would never come to that play. And even after that play, we still had a chance to win the game and screwed it up. So that's just one of the many plays in the game.
Defense has had similar weaknesses throughout the season, whether it's the 2-minute defense or the pass defense. The offense has it been harder to pin down their deficiencies for you, particularly as the offensive coordinator, to go with the head coaching job?
Yeah, the last 2 weeks we've been very frustrated. We've gone through some injuries, and played that last game with a new quarterback and a new right tackle. Those are pretty significant positions. Those aren't excuses, but we just got to do better. It's been tough. We have not for 2 weeks in a row now. We've not run the ball with any consistency, and we've not hit explosive plays.
One of the things you did this season was stick with Joe Houston on his senior day. He had a career day. At least speak to how proud you are of him for doing that and stepping up.
Yeah, the thing I'm most disappointed with is if we just score there at the end or hold them, there's so many different conversations. It's Joe on his senior night, coming through finally. It's Mitch Mustaine finally on his senior night getting an opportunity of winning the game with the last drive. It's Ronald Johnson winning the game, as a senior. And so there would have been so many neat side stories. Unfortunately, there aren't many of them now.
What's your message to the team this week?
Well, you shouldn't need a message. This is UCLA. This has always been the players' game because of the association between the kids, knowing so many of these kids from when they were little, growing up, playing with and playing against them. I don't think that there should be a motivation issue.
Do you put the onus on the seniors to close out their careers, or is this an opportunity for the younger guys to show the future of the program in what is the final game, obviously, without postseason?
Yeah, it takes everybody. It's not about seniors or the young guys. This is about everybody showing up and doing their job.
You talked about it being the players' game. How do you compare the two rivalries? You've been a part of both.
Yeah, I just think the Notre Dame is more historic and is more the fans and the older players, as far as the players that have played here before, the former players. And then, the UCLA games always has been the current players' games, just because of what I said, because they've played with each other for so long. They know a lot more of these kids.
Matt Barkley has made some proclamations about playing this week. Do you plan on having him? How do you go into this week with your quarterback situation?
Yeah, hopefully we'll have him. It'd be great to have him back. And when he got hurt, he was leading the conference in touchdown passes. So hopefully he'll play this week. You
talked about a magic number for Notre Dame last week. Is the key to UCLA stopping the run and forcing them to pass?
Well, I thought so, and then all of a sudden last week they threw the ball over the place and did a great job versus Arizona State. So it's just a reminder, it doesn't matter what's happened before or stats or rankings. You got to play every day, and you got to be very consistent every Saturday.
Defensively, they have some future NFL talent certainly there. Who stands out to you on film?
Well, Akeem Ayers, obviously, he's all over the place, makes a bunch of plays at end and at linebacker for them, and then the safety Raheem, is all over the place. So they have two, great potential first-round guys just right there.
Do you think this game brings unique recruiting ramifications?
Well, it is one game. It's always seemed to, help one side or the other, I think. But I don't think that, the game makes the decision for kids, but it's just part of the factors.
If you win this game, is the season a success?
No, you can't, end an 8-game winning streak over Notre Dame and lose that and call it a season a success. To be ahead of 11 or 12 games and be sitting here at 7 and 5, then I don't think there's any way you can call that a success.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.